Welcome to the Real Academy, brought to you each Saturday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time by
the Resilience DoctHers,
Dr. Sheka Houston and Dr. Tammy Taylor, best-selling authors, consultants, and speakers of Create and Educate LLC. Create and Educate LLC is an educational consultant and literary firm that provides professional development to schools and community. Their goal is to transform organizations with the REALL resilient framework used to increase their school report card grades 2 and 3 grade levels in 1 year. REALL stands for Respect, Excellence, Accountability, Literacy, and Leadership. This framework is used to coach leaders and teachers and build student efficacy while putting systems in place that aligns the work of the school improvement, making the process manageable. When the work is manageable, teachers and leaders don't stress out or burn out.
The Resilience DoctHers.
Alignment systems are designed to help schools evolve and grow, all while instituting protocols and processes designed to promote collaboration and collegiality. The implementation of the alignment framework prevents some of the most common problems in education, where leaders sometimes aren't sure where to start, or in our new age of educating, leaders need a trusted sounding board that allows them to be vulnerable and transparent, preventing loneliness at the top. The framework doesn't just help leaders, but also prevents teachers from burning out from too many initiatives and embracing teachers as they are the experts. Finally, the framework extends to the children, helping them get engaged in school and solving a nationwide problem. Alignment systems are frequently referred to as a key element of success in the improvement process. In the sport of rowing, all rowers must put their oars in the water, succinctly creating a system for their boat to reach maximum speed. So schools that want to improve are bringing in
the Resilience DoctHers
to teach them all about the alignment systems that must be in place for school improvement to be accomplished at high levels. The dynamic duo provides insights into educational topics through their international platform, which includes educators, parents, and community members as a way to support important entities that make communities thrive. This is their way to pay it forward and provide the support they needed through their platform. Take a look. People who work with
the Resilience
describe them as an
DoctHers.
excellent and inspiring group of leaders. They get into the weeds of work with leaders through their TrustMate Institute that you should contact them about today by filling out the contact form on their website.
It's Super Saturday, everyone. Welcome to episode 228 of the Real Academy, brought to you by Create and Educate with your very own Resilience DoctHers. I'm Dr. Sheka Houston.
And I am Dr. Tammy Taylor. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whichever is applicable wherever you're tuning in. We are so glad you're here.
Absolutely. And shout out to Principal Hurt for passing us the baton. And if you are our regular Real Fam members, you know exactly who we are. So bear with us for a moment while we bring in the new people. So if this is your first time tuning in and you are wondering who are the Resilience DoctHers,
we are very glad that you asked. We are best-selling authors, children's book authors, award-winning educators, and speakers who transformed our schools through report card movement, moving students 2 and 3 levels in just a single year.
Absolutely. And as senior staff developers for Create and Educate, we know that school transformation is needed in many areas. So if behavior is off the charts, we can help. or if you want to not get it there, we could still help. And if your students don't have reading stamina, we can help. If your teachers need more engaging literacy strategies, we can definitely help. And we have a new great book to go with that, Amir's Awakening. And if you're looking for a children's book author's visit, we are your girls.
Absolutely. And if you can't bring us in just yet, keep tuning in to the Real Academy. We've impacted over 300,000 educators and over 7 million students, all through our free Fantastic Four PD every Saturday morning, Super Saturday, as it has been deemed by our fearless leader, Principal Kafele, at 10 a.m. Sean Hurt, principal of All Things Data, is on, and at 10:30, we follow in the Real Academy, Create and Educate. Then at 10:55, 11, the Leader's Mentor and the GOAT, in the AP and New Principals Academy, Principal Kafele comes. And then on Sundays, we round out with the PGP podcast with Dr. Marty Moreno and Principal Josh Tovar.
Absolutely. And Happy New Year to everyone. So if you all would please like, share, subscribe, send the stars, make the comments, do all of the things that build these algorithms, we say please and thank you. So if you are one of our regular Real Fam members, you know that it is Real Fam shout out time. And let me go up to the top. All right. So thank you for joining us to Chancellor Rashard Davis from Las Vegas, our one and only coach, Dot McKeever Jeter, who keeps all the platforms promoted and supports us on everything that we're on. Now, Dr. Principal Edwin Garcia, congratulations. I heard Principal Hurt shout you out. Our brother in the work, Principal Sean Hurt, who was on fire just a minute ago. The GOAT, Principal Kafele, who now is starting at 11, and we thank you for that. And also did a fantastic job with the Kwanzaa event that Dr. Chester hosted. Constance Sherrard out of Mississippi, thank you for joining us. September Devance Vance Daniels, we appreciate you always. Stacy L. Joy on the West Coast, thank you for joining us. Miss Rollin, thank you for joining us. I know she's out of New Jersey. She's on YouTube. Our other brother in the work, Principal Josh Tovar, thank you for joining us. Dr. Rella Hicks, thank you for joining us. Mr. David Bell from Benton Harbor, Michigan, thank you for joining us. Dr. Joe Griffin, who also does this work, we appreciate you. Queen Jacqueline Harriet from Canada, thank you for joining us. We appreciate you always. And now I've lost my place. Dr. Joni Dubose, one of our sisters here locally who does great work in mental health. Thank you for joining us. My mom, Beverly Hall, who always supports us and me. Thank you for joining us. Valerie McKay from Bloomfield, New Jersey. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate you. And she's tagging some folks. Thank you for that. And let me see if I missed anybody. I think I got everybody. So thank you all for joining us. Shout out to our platform engineer, Brandon Griffin, who's backstage getting all these comments up and doing all of the things. We appreciate him as well. So be sure to check out our new radio show. I did listen this Wednesday during the time, and I don't know if their programming is off. So I posted the actual recording. So I may just start doing that. But it airs on Wednesdays and Saturdays. It's just 15 minutes, but it's Parents Are First Teachers. So this past year in review was a very blessing to look at all of the things that we've been blessed to do, and we hope to continue to do over this next year. There is a workshop coming up this Saturday for girls, sponsored by the Beacon Foundation. It's Saturday from 11:30. I'll put the link up. It's a vision boards and real dreams with the Resilience DoctHers. So it's for moms and girls. That will be at the Chester County Library this coming Saturday. So we'll post more information about that. So that brings us to episode 228. What is a resilient school really? So today we're giving a full real framework overview and reframing resilience as a systems practice and not just something to check a box off.
For sure. And for the next 13 weeks, we are going to be unpacking the foundations of resilient schools, not theory, but systems that actually work.
Absolutely. So resilient schools don't ask, how do we get people to try harder? They ask, how do we design environments where people can succeed?
Yes, let's just start right there, Shika, because resilient schools are not built by strong people, they're built by strong systems. When resilience depends on individual efforts alone, schools burn out. But when resilience is embedded in the systems that are there to make sure that the school runs efficiently, the school is able to sustain.
Absolutely, Tammy. And at Create and Educate, our work is grounded in the five super strengths that you hear us talking about. You may be able to see it over the frame and behind our shoulders, but it's respect, excellence, accountability, literacy, and leadership. And for us, they're not just buzzwords, they are the levers that shape behavior, culture, and instruction and outcomes. And for us doing this work, they are a way for people to duplicate the type of success that we had in raising our school report card grade levels at your own schools.
Absolutely. And when implemented with intention, those five strengths form three core systems. And you've heard us talk about those systems before, but those systems are systems of respect, systems of excellence, and systems of accountability. A system of respect answers, how do people experience dignity? Because belonging and safety matter. And you're asking, can I find that here? A system of excellence answers, what does high quality teaching, learning, and leadership look like consistently? Again, consistently. And then a system of accountability answers, how do we respond when expectations are not met without allowing harm or chaos? And these are not just um, our expectations not being met, say, for academics or test scores. We're talking about the life of the school, the culture, the heartbeat. Like everything matters in a school in order for it to be effective. And what happens when the culture is violated? What happens when we do not hold up our end of the bargain and respect has been violated? What do we do? And there have to be systems in place to answer those questions, because if there aren't, what ensues is chaos. What ensues is a system of harm and hurt that comes from not knowing exactly how the situation is going to be handled. And one thing that Sheik and I have talked about for since before we even began anything to do with Create and Educate, if you are not consistent and you do not treat people the same way, and we don't mean, because we understand the difference in equity, and we understand that when you're talking about treating people, you're talking about making sure we are meeting people where they are. We get it, but there are some things that have to be consistent with the way that you handle people, and when you don't put those systems into place, people don't trust you.
Absolutely. And you've heard us say many times that it's all in the messaging. You have to know how to activate people. So let's break down our systems formula that we've created that is able to help you to do this. So it's the what, times the messaging plus effective processes that equals your success measure divided by refinement.
Okay, so yeah, let's unpack that. What equals what are you building? Your vision, your purpose, and your expectations. The messaging, what is that? How consistently and clearly you are communicating the what. This is again what builds trust, that consistency in the way that that message comes through. And then the effective process, who is responsible? When is this going to happen? How is it going to get done? How are we going to measure our progress along the way? What is this going to look like?
Absolutely. And that equals your success measure. So if you put all of those things in place, you should have what you were seeking out to have. And what success actually looks like in the data, the behavior, the culture, and the outcomes. And then you have to divide that by. So this is the success measure. Well, how can we make these things better? So we are holding up that mirror that Principal Kafele teaches us about, and we're refining our processes in everything that we have in place.
Yes, that mirror is the most important part of this process because refinement equals reflection. Refinement is reflection. You can say that with us. Refinement is reflection. It's asking what's working, what's not working, how do we make this better? Resilient schools are constantly refining. Fragile schools, guess what they're doing? They're repeating the same mistakes over and over and over. But that's why they are creating a system there of fragility. Yeah, we do clean the mirror because I saw Josh's comment. We have to keep the mirror clean. And that cleaning of the mirror really helps us to honestly reflect. And I love the way that Principal Kafele says that when you are thinking about what you are looking in that mirror to see, only you are able to be honest with yourself with what you're looking at. If you're not honest with your reflection, your school is not going to benefit.
Absolutely, Tammy. And when we're talking about resilient schools, the resiliency should show up in multiple places. So we're talking about in the classroom through literacy and instruction. So building that reading stamina. An elementary teacher that I've recently worked with, I talked about making sure that you have a visual chart for children to see how their reading stamina is moving up with the books that they continue to read, because when children can correlate and you teach them that, oh, the reason why you feel better with your reading and you feel more comfortable is because look at the chart, look where we were in August compared to where we are in January now with our reading stamina. It has gone up, and that's why you're doing better. So you have to make these connections for children so that they know the why behind what they're doing. They understand why it's important and they want to continue that process. It also should show up in the hallways through respect and behavior systems. So making sure that you're hearing children be respectful in the hallways and they're following what they're supposed to do in the hallways and not running or doing all of those things that we know that children do when they're out of sorts. But you teach, like we talked about on the previous episodes, you teach the behaviors that you expect from them, and they will rise to the occasion when you teach them. It should also show up in the office through leadership clarity. I always had meetings with my office staff to make sure that they understood what the expectations were. When people come into this office, it should feel like the greatest place on earth, the greatest land. When the children coming in late, we're welcoming them still pleasantly. We're not running people down. We're not running the children down. We're not telling the parents, oh, you finally brought them. We ain't doing none of that, because we have to show that this is a place that you actually want to be and a place that you actually want to send your children. And then in data meetings, it should show up through accountability. At my school, we had accountability notebooks at every level. The leadership team, the children, the teachers, everyone was looking at their data. And we ended that process, or had that process to continue through student led conferences, because who better to tell someone what they need and have a commitment to signing on to what's needed than the child. Sometimes every parent has not had a great school experience, and they may not necessarily want to hear from a teacher or an administrator, but hearing it from your child puts a different level of commitment on it, especially for me, coming from a parent's perspective. And then it also shows up in the students through their skill building. And again, we're not talking about punishing them for everything. They do have consequences, but we teach before we just start layering on consequences. If you don't have teaching layered into that, you're going to keep seeing the same repetitive offenses over and over and over.
Exactly. And we have to ask ourselves, is the goal just to correct them, or is the goal to teach them? And that definitely is what we want them to learn from whatever mistakes they're making. And many of you have been commenting about making sure that we are honoring the growth that the children have, no matter how small it may seem, because that does encourage them to continue to try to do their best so that they can continue to grow. And I think Sheka is spot on when she talks about that hallway behavior or respect in general. Are the children modeling it? You know what? When you see that the children are not modeling respect for each other, for the teachers, you have to start, go back to refining, look at that mirror and see, is the modeling off? Like, am I modeling the respect that I want to see in the building? Look at what's happening with the teachers. Are the teachers modeling respect with the students and the parents, so that we are able to make sure that we see exactly what we want to see happening in the building? And all of this is the work that we do. We, when we're working with schools through leadership coaching, teacher efficacy workshops, awareness assessments, those self awareness assessments are very popular and are really a hit with adults and with children. Our resilience series, for the books and the guides that we have, and system level implementation, because again, we would not have been able to do what we did with our teams without having the proper systems in place.
Absolutely, Tammy, and you are right. It is definitely was a team effort. We had phenomenal staff members from the top all the way across every level, from the cafeteria to but the custodians. Everyone took part and helped in the school transformation process. So when we ask, "What is a resilient school really?" the answer is simple, but it's not easy. So it's a school where systems do the heavy lifting so people don't have to.
Yes, Shika. And resilience is not about surviving chaos. Keep that in your mind. It's not about surviving the chaos, it's about designing clarity.
Absolutely. So if systems work is something that is needed at your school to make people not feel burned out and not, they looking in July, starting to look, I mean, in January, starting to look for other things to do. We don't want teachers to feel burned out. We want them to enjoy what they're doing. And when you have systems in place, that can bring the joy and make the joy be continuous and not feel like work. Teachers and educators, administrators should not come to work and feel like they are just, being trampled on by the stuff. If you have the right systems in place, everyone will know how to continue those things, and they should really carry themselves. So, thank you for joining us for episode 228 of the Real Academy. This is season 5. It's officially underway, and we're excited to walk through this journey with you.
Yes, and if you did not get to see everything, catch the replay, share it with your team, and join us next week as we continue building the foundations of resilient schools.
Absolutely. We are the Resilience DoctHers, helping you create and educate so you can thrive. Have a
Yes.
real amazing Super Saturday. Join Principal Kafele next. And on Sunday, join Principal Josh Tovar, Dr. Marty Moreno, and then back here on Super Saturday, where it all starts again, starting off at 10 a.m. with Principal Sean Hurt, yours truly, Create and Educate at 10:30, and the GOAT Principal Kafele at 11. Thank
Yes,
you
and
all.
remember, guys, we wanted to make sure, Shika, that we make sure everybody knows. We do know that Principal Kafele has yielded to 11 for us, and we are very thankful, as Shika said, Principal Kafele. But out of respect for him, what we decided is that allows him to see the end of this, but it also does not interfere with him being able to get going. So that's why you see us going on and closing out here, not because we're not respectful and appreciative of the time, but we want to make this make sense for everybody. And again,
Absolutely.
Happy New Year, y'all.
Absolutely. We are honored that he would even consider that for us, like Tammy said. So thank you. Everybody got time to take a bathroom break, go get a
Yep.
drink of water, and then join us next on Principal Kafele's page. Thank you.
Have a good week, y'all.